All right, so we're going to be talking about monochromatic and analogous colors today. My name is Jocelyn.
And I'm Isabella.
I am Rich Robinson.
So, in these upcoming slides, we are going to talk about what is monochromatic and analogous colors. So, monochromatic is a color scheme using only one hue with varying degrees of value or intensity. And some examples of that would be this purple picture where we see darker hues of purple at the bottom. And then the more we progress up towards the moon, it just gets lighter. And then with the blue picture on the side, we just see the same exact thing, but we see more depth with the shadows that are darker blues and then a lighter blue to emphasize the mountains. And then on the last example for this would be the green trees, which it shows the darker side of the tree that's facing towards us, and then the lighter side of the trees that are facing away. And then for the analogous is a color scheme that combines several hues located next to each other on the color wheel. So for example, we see in this room, we see yellows, orange, and that those just go together because they're right next to each other on the color wheel. And another example would be these pinks and purples and blues that are captured in this photograph. And then the last example for this would be a watercolor painting of this house, which is just yellows, oranges, and reds to make this house theme.
Here's some more examples of monochromatic paintings. So with the one on the left here, you can see that it's all made with the color blue, and sometimes monochrome can really create an atmosphere with the different shades of just the same color. Uh, with the trees here in the foreground, you can see that it's like blue mixed with black. The two mountains that are behind are fading away, and the sky is also has like a fade effect added to it. The middle picture has pretty much the same thing. It's using the white paper as like the light and using just black and blue, making like a dark looking color. Yeah, you can see the same thing being done in the middle picture. And in the last picture, um, you can see that the color here is just black and white, and it's mostly just using like gray on some of the parts, but also having like a stipple effect going on with the different angles and shapes. But the analogous one, it's all just about like different hues, different colors, making like completely different colors here. As you can see in this painting right here, you can see on the top that on the top of that picture, you can see that all the colors that are used to mix that are like mixed and are added to the painting below, the different blues, different greens. And in this middle one, which I made, I actually used colors like orange and then the white of the paper, purple, red, and some other colors of blue just to create like this whole atmosphere. And I also used a lot of other colors, even the color green, to create like these black branches, as you can see right here. So it's pretty much all the colors combined to make kind of a blackish color, but it's more likely a little bit of brown that I used. And in this last one, this is another good example of a lot of colors being used just to make like these black colors. The one thing to know about with painting is that you can't just use like the color black. You have to like create like this color that's like every other color combined to create like this natural looking black. So that way it just doesn't look like it's standing out and kind of looks like it's part of the atmosphere, like with all the mountains, the branches that you see on the side. And even in the reflection of the water right here, you can see that um, there's a little bit of reflection of like the sun. You can see a little bit of yellow and
All right, and for this one, we decided that we wanted to include some artists that used a lot of analogous and monochromatic colors in their artwork. So the one that I chose for monochromatic was Cristina Fernandez, who was a photographer that was based in Los Angeles, and she was famous for her photography. And this example up here is called Under the Sun. And then for the one for analogous, I decided to include Claude Monet's Water Lilies. He was a famous French painter who used a lot of analogous colors throughout some of his pieces. And then the well-known piece that to use analogous colors was his painting that is right here on the left called Water Lilies.
So to wrap up our presentation, we went through all sorts of different examples for monochromatic and analogous colors. So for example, some famous paintings would be, we have the Blue Period right here, which is made from Pablo Picasso, and we could see a lot of dark dark blues and light blues that are more in his face, and the right side of the painting is very darker compared to the right side of the painting or the left side of the painting. And then another would be pink. We see I decided to choose photography of these pink macaroons with a light shaded in the back and then like darker macaroons in the front. And then for analogous, we would have a painting from Van Gogh, this is the olive tree. And we see tons of blues, a lot of greens, a lot of yellows are thrown into there. The greens for the trees, and then the back of the trees would be like the skies, which is lighter blues, darker blues, and then yellows is incorporated throughout this painting. And then another example would be from Jean Horn, and this is a young girl reading, and we see tons of yellows, light pinks, browns, purples. We see all sorts of different hues thrown into this painting. And that is a lot of examples to explain what monochromatic and analogous colors are.